Good morning, Centerville, and welcome to Required Reading. I'm Jim, and today I'll be reading Chapter 1 of Ghostbusters 2, the novelization of the 1989 blockbuster film, Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2, a novel by B.B. Hiller, based on a motion picture by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, based on the characters created by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. An Ivan Reitman film, starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, and Ernie Hudson. Chapter 1. Dina Barrett was having a hard time. She held 2 bags of groceries with one hand and was pushing her son's baby carriage with the other. Oscar, the baby, was being fussy. People who passed her on the street stared at her because her baby was crying. Nobody offered to help her. One grocery bag slipped out of her hand and landed on the sidewalk. Her eggs were smashed and her marshmallows got covered with muddy slush. An apple rolled into the gutter. Before she could finish picking up the mess, she felt a rumbling beneath her, like a subway. But there was no subway under this sidewalk. Oscar's carriage began to shake. At first, it was just a little wobble. Then it became more violent. Suddenly, the carriage lurched and started rolling away, uphill. Dana chased after her baby, but the carriage kept going faster and faster. It sped past many other people, and nobody made the slightest effort to stop it. Dana couldn't believe how rude and selfish people could be when she needed help. The carriage swerved along the sidewalk, dodging walkers, dogs, and other baby carriages. It practically flew into the middle of the street, and there it stopped, as suddenly as it begun, right in the middle of a big bus. The driver spotted the carriage in the intersection. First he slammed on the brakes, then he turned the bus as fast as he could to the right. It smashed into 2 parked cars. The passengers in the bus were tossed around like clothes in a dryer. But Oscar's carriage was untouched. Dana ran out into the street and tried to push the carriage to safety. She didn't know why, but the carriage wouldn't budge. The cars, trucks, and buses that surrounded her honked loudly. She picked up her baby and fled, carrying him to the safety of the sidewalk. As the traffic began to move again around Oscar's abandoned baby carriage, Dana watched and thought. The last time she'd seen anything this weird was when she'd met the Ghostbusters. That had been a couple of years ago. They saved her life then, but it seemed like it was a different life. Since that time, she'd stopped having dates with one of the Ghostbusters, Peter Venkman. She'd married someone else. She'd had a baby. She'd even gotten a divorce. A lot had changed since then. But it seemed to Dana that some things had not. There was something weird in her neighborhood. Dana didn't know what it was, but she knew who she had to call. Alright guys, that's Chapter 1 of Ghostbusters 2. Admittedly, the last line there is a little hokey. Kind of makes you think about the theme song a little bit, which I guess is a good thing. But I'm sure it's going to get better, just like the film. Granted, the film wasn't as good as the first. I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. But let's be honest here. The cartoon, the real Ghostbusters, and the ensuing popularity with the younger demographic kind of forced the creators' hands there. You know? They just kind of had to make it a little more friendly for the kids, I guess. You know, not that it takes anything away from it, but well, you know what? Hang in there, guys. This is going to get a lot better. We're going to have a lot of fun reading it together. So, from me to you, Happy New Year. Be safe out there. Until next time.